peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now, we're going to talk about seer stones. Also, we're going to get into the aspect of scrying. And also programming crystals as well. Now, seer stones. I know you can kind of see them a little good. But seer stones, basically, like one side got like this little matte finish to it, like this little flaky, powdery finish, and then like it's sliced on like one side to make like a little window that you look inside, and it's basically for scrying. Now, scrying basically is, you could be staring at any object, for that matter, but staring at a crystal. Like, matter of fact, one of the most popular scrying tools is like a black obsidian mirror, in which some people do use mirrors for scrying as well, But you got to be aware with anything you're using, what you're tapping into and dealing with, Like, I wouldn't feel like to give no extra, like, ooh, be careful with a mirror. Because I do realize, though, they do have this aspect with the mirror realm. And then I think about what it is The Magicians, and it was another show that dealt with, The Magicians, and then that show Lock and Key with the little family with the little keys and going into the different dimensions. And this thing where the mirror realm is kind of like a trap. And then it was also in Conan, I think it's Conan, the movie, the old school movie where Hercules, where Arnold Schwarzenegger was playing, Conan, and it was in that little mirror room and stuff like that. So there's something with those mirrors and, and creating illusions and things of this nature where you want to be, a little careful with tapping into that. With anything, just having awareness and again, and always having an intention that we're, putting into whatever it is we're doing. But again, scrying, it's basically, looking at something. I think of like those old little pictures where the 3D image where you had to kind of like stare at it and then kind of back off of it. Or some people could just fixate their eyes on it, but I remember I used to have to put it close to me and then pull it far, away from my face slowly, and then you could see like the little 3D image within the picture. Which I still think those things are pretty cool for your eyes to get fixated on a 3D image, within a flat picture, like that. Whoever created that like, I still look at that and I'm like, bro, that's still an amazing little thing, to make a picture do that. But anyway, scrying is basically, again, like staring, at like what, again, like a lot of people use the black obsidian mirrors. Matter of fact, we think about John D, and I think his name was Edward Kelly, and dealing with the Enochian magic and connecting with the Enochian archangels, and doing this scrying to contact certain energies, and basically, you could use scrying. Sometimes scrying will give you insight by you seeing an actual image while you're scrying. So, say for instance, if I was looking at this, scrying, I may see an actual image, that may point me to, answering my question or giving me what type of insight. Because again, when we're scrying to tap into some type of information or for some type of reason. So whether, you done ask a question of like, hey, what past life is, giving me the trauma of being scared to deal with spiders, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, and as you scry, and again, you don't technically have to get the answer from seeing the image. Also, just by you scrying, the image will pop up in your head. It's also like scrying is in essence to, provoke something to come up and come out, as far as like, some type of insight, information, or type of answer. So as you're scrying, you get the insight. It was your past life when you were Eskimo and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it will come to you like that. But again, it could also come to you in image, but it doesn't have to be, just one of, it could either come to you and you seeing like an actual image, or as you're staring at it or scrying, you just get like a certain little clear cognizant download as you know what I'm saying, as you're looking at the stone. So again, you're not technically, you know, uh, looking for any image while you're doing it. And it's the first thing that comes to you while you're staring, again, whether it be the image or, as you're staring at it, like the first little insight that comes to you, is basically answering your question. And again, seer stones are great for that. And in which this will slide into programming stones as well. But like you could also like, so this one's an amethyst, this one is a smoky quartz. Smoky quartz, grounded energy, you know what I'm saying? So I could like, for example, ask this one about questions on, you know, uh, what's the next action I should take that's in alignment with, my higher self for this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, just for example, because for me, I just use them both in asking anything, but I could program them to, deal with a specific, type of, questioning or inquiring, so to speak. In the amethyst, I could ask the amethyst questions about, my chakras, like which chakra is not in alignment, or, you know, what subconscious trauma needs healing, you know what I'm saying? Like, but, again, like you could deal with a specific aspect dealing with the crystal. I'm gonna also get back, we're gonna swing back into scrying again too, but also that's again the programming. Now, when I first get my crystals, one of the things I do is I put them in my right hand and I cleanse them with my right hand, and then put them in my left hand and allow for them to integrate with my auric field. And again, like I'm speaking that, like I'm like, all right, I'm clearing them of all. And I did a video a while back. Check out my crystal vibrations playlist. But like I'd be like, I'm removing all lower vibrational energy and energies that does not serve my highest good. Only energies that are beneficial may remain. Because I'm like, I used to say clear every single thing no matter what. But, realizing that some energies that are in these crystals are, left behind for us to work with. Like they might have like a little being, like, cause sometimes the thing is when you see like a rainbow little reflection in some of your crystals, like that may be like a little, like a little being, like a little energy, you know what I'm saying? Like a entity, for lack of a better word, for you to connect with. More so like a little being or something, not necessarily an entity in that sense. But you will be able to connect with that, connect with that being. But if I'm clearing it of every and all thing, like I would even clear out, that energy, which again, in essence, if there is a being connected to that crystal, you know, you technically wouldn't be able to just like rinse it away with your words in that sense. But again, with me had like that awareness came to me, so again, I don't just say clear it of like everything, as much as I just say clear it of energies that are, unbeneficial to me on my journey, you know. But I have them in my right hand, and then I visualize like check out if you're a if you're a patron on the Patreon page, and you check out the cyclomancy videos I got, like using your psychic command center to send like, the frontal lobe, and sending like some little flares of energy from my frontal lobe and through my right arm, and then I visualize light coming out of my hand, out of my palm chakras, and cleansing the crystals. And then when I feel that's done, then I put it in my left hand, and I'm like, all right, now I want you to integrate with my energy field, integrate with my aura, and I see it going up my left arm and coming into my body, and cycling through my torus field. So when it gets here, it comes to the heart area, and then it flows through my torus field, going in, imploding inward and outward, you know, and allow for that, again, that crystal energy to connect with my energy field. And bringing that up also, like when we're sharing crystals too, like I might have a crystal that I give to somebody. Sometimes I'm able to uh be aware to fully disconnect. Like I know I'm gonna give this crystal away, so I disconnect my energy from it, you know what I'm saying, and cleanse it. Basically again, like visualize cutting cards, cutting ties, and speak like, hey crystal, I'm allowing for you to move on. You no longer have to stay tied to my energy field. You know, you're about to, move on to work with somebody else. You know, a lot of it is simple. Again, as simple as our intentions with our words and being sure in our words and our intent. You know, because what'll create unsureness too in a lot of cases is like it's simple as wording it like that, but if you've been programmed again, like programming everything, if you've been programmed to think like, oh, it takes more than just talking to program my crystal. So when you do it, when you talk, you feel a little doubtful because you think that it takes more, like like you got to go electrocute the crystal to clear it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that goes on our own programming. You know what I'm saying? But again, with sharing the crystals, and sometimes again, if I'm not able to catch it within that moment, after I give it away, I sit there and do like a little visualization and see my cards being cut, from the crystal. Sometimes picturing the person that I gave it to, and again, just seeing those little lines cut and allowing for that crystal to move on to its new home. You know, but and to program crystals again, as simple as talking to them, like, hey, smoky quartz, I'm programming you to give me insight on all the different physical aspects of my being. You're for insight. You're always gaining. Whenever I work with you, I'm gaining insight on my physical body and my physical being. Hey, Amethyst, with you, when I work with you, I'm always gaining insight on my emotional body. You're always giving me insight on what emotion I need to be aware of in my moment. You know, again, and then you could affirm it by saying, I'm always aware of my emotions in my moment while you're holding that amethyst. You know, I'm always aware of my physical body in every moment, while you're holding the smoky quartz to connect with that energy. But again, programming it through words and also through visualizations. You could visualize, what it is, and even going into the crystals. Because matter of fact, like the rutilated quartz meditation, I know I probably spoke on it in a past video, but like rutilated quartz, like there's a meditation where you visualize yourself being inside the rutilated quartz. Like visualizing yourself being inside the rutilated quartz and seeing the little rutile or the little needles, coming out of you. You know what I'm saying? To basically, in connection with amplifying your extrasensory perception and being like connected, you know, to the grid, so to speak, and being connected to, allowing for your extrasensory perception antennas to go out there and connect. So again, you could also visualize yourself, being inside the crystals. And with a lot of these situations, again, it goes on to your own uniqueness and in the sense of how you take, how you do these things, because you don't necessarily have to do the left hand, right hand the way I said it, you know what I'm saying? You could do it the opposite way. It's all, again, like I'm sharing how I go about it and it may resonate with you, you know what I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, it's however you feel you should, deal with these aspects. And also, you could program your crystals to clear themselves, And that's something that I recently came across where I always knew that, again, like, because the way I would work with some crystals, like, I knew, like, which honestly, though, again, like, well, I would cleanse some of my crystals, not just with smudging and stuff, like, but visualizations, like, I would, like, if I want to clear my crystals, I would hold them in my hand or, like, have them all in a certain area and visualize a green light like coming down and coming through all of them and like shining its light through them and clearing all of them. So, again, that's me. That's how it came to me. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I like to do a lot of things without necessarily like following books, or following certain little aspects. Again, that's the theme right now. Things don't change from just following the leader. You gotta be better than the ones that precede you. Yeah. Shout out to Pusha T, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole aspect is like tapping into it for ourselves, But that's again like how we could program our crystals and program them to cleanse themselves. Like, hey, big crystal quartz, especially big crystals. Like I got like a big crystal quartz slab. You know what I'm saying? Like. And sometimes I might not be taking it in and out all day or hauling it everywhere with me to go outside. So I would need to program that type of crystal to, cleanse itself. You know what I'm saying? And again, whether I could use my own visualization technique, like how I said, and also speaking to it, like, hey, crystal quartz. Whenever you feel your energy at its heaviest, I want you to self cleanse yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, uh, press your internal reset button energetically whenever you feel very heavy, you know what I'm saying? Like, because these things are intelligence, you know what I'm saying? Once programmed, whether you believe it or not. But, again, using the proper affirmations, and sometimes we might have to sit down, and, write out what like what intentions we're gonna have for that certain crystal, like I want this malachite to, and also being aware of like what a crystal's energy does, because again a crystal gonna vibrate on the energy it vibrates on regardless, programming it and setting intentions with your programming, like that's just like sharpening, like just you know creating a stronger focus in a certain area, like a bumblebee jasper gonna already create, amplify creativity and confidence. But I could also like amplify that creativity and confidence in a certain area. Like, hey, I want you to amplify the confidence in every time I go in a public place to speak. Or I want you to amplify the vibration of creativity every time I'm sitting in my tablet drawing, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like just real specifics, you know what I'm saying? To sharpen, the focus on whatever it is. But again, you could write down your intentions before, actually doing the visualizations and speaking it down, or write down your affirmation of what you want to affirm to program a crystal with. You know, you could go about it that way too. And being in a meditative state always help amplify that energy. So sometimes I'm not like fully in a meditative area or something like that, because sometimes I like as soon as I get a crystal I'll be walking, which my walking vibes is like my meditative, hence why a lot of my videos, my think fast videos, come when I'm walking, because like shit just be coming to me while I'm walking. But what I was gonna say. Yeah, like like you could get into a relaxed state, and kind of calm things down to really, because it's working with your subconscious mind as well when you're programming these crystals. So, when we're like in a more, again, like an alpha state, more a little slowed down, we're able to program our subconscious more easily. So, we're programming our crystals, that is more beneficial to be in, in that state of being when you go to program your crystals, and again, like visualizing yourself, you know, visualize your intentions going inside the crystal. Visualize yourself inside the crystal, acting out those intentions. You know the list goes on, and as far as using your imagination and connecting with the crystals and programming them. And again, with seer stones, and scrying. Scrying again is not technically just looking for image in the crystal, but you can, because like again, like how you could look at the clouds and see a dog, or you look at a table, and if you look at it long enough, the patterns, you could find like you know again, like some type of face in the pattern, or some wood grain or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like how you could look at all these different little things that don't seem like they're made to have a face in it or something like that, and find a face or something, or find an object in it. You know, uh, that can happen with scrying, but that's not like like, oh, if I don't find a face or see something, then my scrying wasn't successful. No, like it's for you to get a certain, again, like certain insight, like a little download or upload as you're, staring, at the, like, hey, smoke it quartz. I want to gain insight on how to, connect with the Papa Legba energy inside me more healthily. Or hey, smoke it, or no, amethyst, you deal with intuition. Like with as above, so below, as within, so without. Like what in the external realm is kind of like the red blood cells in my body. You know what I'm saying? Like what in this plane of existence is the external representation of the red blood cells in my body? Like, you know, uh, what planet does my knee chakras connect with? Which I mean, we know that's the Saturn energy. But again, like just all those different, you could connect with it in all those different manners. Like, what's the name of my spirit guide? What's my spiritual name? What's the name my spirit guide goes by? Again, this is all your inner guidance, but again, part of your inner psyche, has all these multiple archetypes, and matter of fact, like it could be more efficient to like acknowledge these archetypes with certain names, and again, like like you got like I spoke on, like you got the addictive aspect of our being, like you could call that Pookie. Like, hey Pookie, chill out, man. We're not eating no sugar today. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking to that inner archetype inside yourself, like working like that. But again, the seer stones, real great stones for scrying. So if you want to get your scrying on, you definitely might want to get your seer stone. Seer, Seer stone. Again, great for scrying. But that's basically it. Again, the scrying and programming, as simple as that. And again, always being aware to uh, have some type of like intentions that we're setting when we're doing, our scrying, and also, programming crystals. Now, some crystals are not easily programmed as others, but again, like working with the crystals. Also, that's what I was gonna say. Working with crystals and seeing what energies that they do bring up. Because again, whether you do it, whether you read a book and find out that amethyst does this, that, and the other, or you work with it for a minute and realize, like, all right, when I work with it, I feel like this. So amethyst must give off this energy naturally. So since it gives off this energy naturally, I'm gonna amplify like this energy. So like, hey, amethyst, since I see you amplify my intuition, I want you to even, more so amplify connecting with my intuition in this moment. In general, just amplify the connection with my intuition, because that's what you do. That's what it seems like you do. You know, like rose quartz, amplifying the energy of self-love in every moment. I want you to bring my awareness to loving myself, or like, hey, rose quartz, I want you to amplify my awareness of gratitude and to be grateful in every moment, and fully embrace my, gratitude in every moment that I should embrace that gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Like, just placing it to a particular, just honing in on a certain energy, And again, knowing properties of crystals can help better align the programming. But again, you could just be working with the crystals intuitively, and still, you don't have to necessarily go read about the crystal to know, And again, like I explained, I did a video on my IGTV. You might want to check out. Well, I spoke on like the aspect of, for myself, like I come across reading about the crystal, but then my higher self will let me know, like, like what, like I'm not just taking in all the information as much as I'm being pointed to the energies that that uniquely speaks to that crystal, and also like the energies that I have felt with that crystal. You know what I'm saying? All the energies that's gonna stand out, as I work with them. You know. But yeah, like working with the smoky quartz, seer stone, and the amethyst. Again, you could program different ones for different aspects, and you just staring off at it. And again, and sometimes you could just, be in just a meditative vibe of just staring off, like that's another thing too. Not even having to give it an intention. Like I just sit down without saying nothing and just bam, just start scrying my seer stone, and all of a sudden I get, a certain little insight, about whatever, you know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, that'll help program it too. Like you just start working with it, and then you see that you mostly get insights that's geared towards a certain subject, when you work with the smoky quartz compared to with the amethyst, or whatever type of seer stone you got, or whatever stone you scrying with. It's also like I like to scry with like quartz that have like different types of formations, or got like little lines inside of them and stuff like that. Like I just sit there and just cry off of. And again, I got these Lemurian singing quartz. We're not gonna get, that'll be another video, but singing quartz, they make like this little singing sound. It's high pitch, which resonates with the Om sound, and they're also said to be used in, when they could say connecting with extraterrestrial energy, but just connecting with, could say, just the higher aspect of ourselves that seems extraterrestrial, so to speak. But like our multi-dimensional aspects of our being. Y'all hear that? Yeah, same quartz. Which that's basically it, you know what I'm saying? The different, like, what I feel energetically when working with singing quartz, I just feel like I feel the high vibration of it. I do feel like that connection with that Om. Since I've been working with them, like I definitely been feeling a difference in, the raising of my vibration, but And definitely connecting with higher self. I've been like, I get like a lot of my as above, so below, like my law of correspondent type of downloads when I'm working with like a Lemurian quartz or something like that. So this Lemurian quartz and this singing quartz, and Lemurian again connecting with the energy of Lemuria, the land of Mu, connecting with that, the Mu, the mother energy. But yeah, you can also scribe with, you know, with those crystals as well, you know. Also black obsidian, of course. But that's basically it, y'all. Yep. Talked about Seer stone scrying. And again, programming crystals. Very, very simple. Yep, that's basically it, y'all. So, peace, peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Peace, peace.